Invite Professor Bimalendra Kumar Sir, Professor Head, Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, to kindly address the august gathering with the keynote address. Professor Bimalendra Kumar is a highly respected scholar of Pali language and Buddhist studies, with decades of teaching, research, and academic leadership at Banaras Hindu University. As former head of the Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies, he has played a seminal role in advancing classical language studies, Buddhist philology, and canonical research in India. His scholarly works reflect deep engagement with Pali text, Buddhist philosophy, and comparative religious traditions. A mentor to the generations of scholars, Professor Kumar's academic contribution have strengthened India's position as a global center for Buddhist and Pali studies. I welcome you, sir. The stage is all yours. A big round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Minister Raji. Most respected Bhikkhu Sangha, most respected our Bhikkhuni Sangha, Mahasangha, the Reverend monks and nuns who are sitting in this dais. Most respected our Thich Nhat Hanh, Pro-Rector of Vietnam Buddhist University and Chief Guest of this, our inaugural function of International Conference on Pali Language and Literature. Most respected Stuti Kaikar, Chancellor of Subharti University, Meerut. Respected Mrs. Salya Raj, CEU, Subharti University, Meerut. Most Reverend Asin Kumara, Pro-Rector of our Sitagu International Buddhist Academy, Siva, Sagai Hills, Myanmar. Most respected our Thich Nhat Hanh, the standing member of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Most respected our Sri Tarunesh Baudhaji, member of International Buddhist Research Center, Lucknow. Respected our Dr. Rakesh Singh, Director of International Buddhist Research Institute. Respected Asin Wangdi, our Dr. Hirohito ji. Most respected the Assistant Professor who has come from the Sri Lanka. Most respected our all the faculty members of our School of Buddhist Studies of Subharti University, all our students as well as research scholars of this School of Buddhist Studies Department of Subharti University, and all the lovers of Buddhism who are sitting in this august hall. It gives me immense pleasure to get associated with this International Conference on Pali Language Literature and its global contributions to the heritage. As we are aware that Pali has been declared as a classical language of India on 3rd October 2024 by Government of India, as well as by our Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Sri Narendra Modi ji. And it signifies its characteristics of our classical language. As we know that Pali consists all the characteristics of classical language, that it has the continuity of more than 1500 to 2000 years of continuity of ancient cultural heritage, as well as its literary contributions to our Vinay Pitak, Sut Pitak, and Abhidhamma Pitak. He had also a great literary contributions in our Buddhist literature, as well as the most characteristics that it has not borrowed from any literature. It has taken its own. And from the time of ancient time, from the 6th century BC, at the time of the Buddha, there is a continuity of our ancient Pali language till this modern time in different ways. As we know that Pali is known as Magadhi, Magadhi Bhasa, Magadhi Nirutti. There are three names. Pali is also called as Magadhi, Magadhi Bhasa, Magadhi Nirutti. Since this language was considered in the region of the Magad, that is why it is called as Magadhi. It has been said in the text Rup Siddhi that Magadhi is the original language. Since the beginning of the creation of the human being, the Lord Brahma and the ancient and the small baby who has taken birth and they do not speak any language, as well as the Blessed One speak in this language. It has been said in the text, Saha Magadhi Mool Bhasa Naraya Di Kappika Brahmano Chasutalapa Sambuddha Cha Api Bhasare. That this Magadhi is the original language, and this Pali is the standard language in which the teachings of the Buddha were compiled at the time of the Bhattagamni Abhay in the 1st century BC in Sri Lanka. So Magadhi was the language in which Buddha spoke to the common people, and Pali is the standardized language in which the teachings of the Buddha were compiled, first of all at the time of the Bhattagamni Abhay in 1st century AD. There are so many debates as well as theories related with the Pali and the Magadhi. But we have to consider the traditions of the Anuradhapur Mahabihar, as well as the Mahabihar tradition of Sri Lanka, which considers that Magadhi is the original language in which Buddha spoke to the common people, as well as Pali is the standardized language in which the teachings of the Buddha were compiled down. There are so many theories, and in the Binay Pitak Cholbag, we are having the references that how the two Brahmin convert monks approached to the Blessed One, and they requested the Blessed One kindly translate all the teachings of the Buddha in Chandasa, that is the Sanskrit language. But Buddha became very much angry, and he said that those whosoever will translate the teachings of the Buddha in the Chandas, they will be engrossed with the evil thoughts. And Buddha allowed that Anujanami Bhikkhave Sakai Niruttiya Buddhavachanam Pariyapunitum. Buddha asked that Buddhavachan, the teachings of the Buddha, may be translated into its own languages. Sakai Niruttiya. There are so many interpretations of the Sakai Niruttiya. Acharya Buddha Ghosh in the Samantapasadika, he says that here Sakai Niruttiya is in the sense of Samma Sambuddhena Magadhiko Bhutpakariko. That here the Blessed One who spoke in the Magadhi, that is called as Magadhi language. Here Sakai Niruttiya is in the sense of Magadhi. There are a lot of debates that whether Magadhi is the original language or not, whether Magadhi is the Pali or not. If you consider that scholars like Bhikkhu Bodhi says that this Pali in the present time, this is the most archaic language, and it has been reshaped again and again from time to time. From the Blessed One Buddha, 6th century BC, till the Bhattagamni Abhay, when it was compiled, first of all, at Alubihar, Colombo, Sri Lanka. So the language is a standardized language. If you see that in the first Buddhist council, the Mahakasyapa, who convened the first Buddhist council, he asked Dhammam cha Vinayam cha Sanghaya. And all the teachings of the Buddha were rehearsed there. In the second Buddhist council, all the teachings of the Buddha were rehearsed. But in the third Buddhist council, it was at the time of King Asoka, all the teachings of the Buddha were classified into Tipitaka in the form of Vinaya, Sutta, and Abhidhamma. So there is a transformation of the teachings of the Buddha from the Blessed One time, 6th century BC, till the 3rd century BC. And from the 3rd century BC, how the teachings of the Buddha in the form of the oral traditions, it traveled from Patlipatra to our Tammaparani, that is the Sri Lanka. And if you see the roots of the Mahinda, that how from the Patlipatra, Reverend Mahinda moves to Nalanda, from Nalanda to Vidisha, Ujjaini, and from Ujjaini he moves to Lat, Gujarat, and from Lat, Gujarat he moves to our Andhra coastal, and from Andhra coastal he moves to Tammaparni, that is the Sri Lanka. In the meantime, the regions, the Prakrit or the Magdi, Ardha Magdi, Paisachi elements of the region of the concern, they also transformed this Magdi language. And it was in the 1st century BC, at the time of Bhatta Gamini Abhay, this language in the externalized form, with the help of the grammars and the techniques, all these, that how the teachings of the Buddha were compiled in Binay, Sut and Abhidham in Alu Bihar, Colombo, Sri Lanka. And from that we have seen that how from Sri Lanka there is a transformation of the teachings of the Buddha from time to time. Again, we see that how at the time of the King Ashoka, 9 missionaries were sent to the different parts of the country, world. And in the way in Thailand, Southeast Asian country, the Pali language moved, and there are a corpus of Buddhist literature in Pali language. They are in the form of our Nisayaj literature as well as our in the form of commentarial literatures. In the form of, but how this Magadhi language was transformed into Pali, there are a lot of debates among the scholars, and they say that there are, again, Oscar on Hinuvar, as well as K.R. Normer, they are thinking that this from Magadhi to Pali, it was transformed by the Europeans. But the most celebrated scholar of our Buddhist studies, Margaret Kone, as well as our Crosby, they have deciphered that it is not the transformation of the Magadhi to Pali, but it was transformed into the language Pali by the Theravada scholars. So there is a transformation of how the Magadhi came into form of Pali, and how this Pali literature moved to Southeastern countries, and how there is a rich cultural repository of our cultural heritage of India into Southeast Asian countries. How in the Southeast Asian countries it has become one of the global our heritage. And now Pali is considered as a not only classical language of India, but it is considered as a global heritage of our world. And it is considered by scholars of the West. So there is no time. I think there are other speakers who will speak, but in the coming deliberations, I will discuss some of the points related with the transformation of this Pali language from the time of the 6th century BC to up till now, how the language has been transformed. I will discuss with you all. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to discuss some of the things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your erudite and enlightening keynote. Your insights vividly highlighted the enduring and interdisciplinary relevance of Pali and Magadhi. Please give him a big round of applause again.